What I would like to do tonight is mastermind. I don't, unless either one of you want to say, yeah, I've got something I'm dealing with. I want to be in the hot seat. I would like to just mastermind and solve the world's problems, or at least Southern Alberta's.
No, let's do that.
Now
Lethbridge and
that
McGrath.
yeah, now that Jennifer's in Alberta again. One of the I did a mastermind a while ago that was really cool, and basically, I mean, we all know what each other does, but in this mastermind, it was with some of the guys from the inner circle, Russell Brunson's inner circle, and everyone just had an opportunity to talk a little bit about their business, kind of refresh everyone on it and what their main project was they were working on right now, and just any ideas or thoughts, or if there was any, this is what I'm working on right now. This is kind of my bottleneck or my pain right now, and just get everyone's feedback on it.
Sure.
Either of you want to jump in and go first?
Yeah, I can go first since Jen's driving.
Okay, perfect.
So I do property maintenance or management. So I manage other people's rentals. It's supposed to be one of those jobs where it's hands off for the owner, so they don't have to do any of the dirty work. And I do a lot of dirty work. In the saying, the 80-20 rule is so true, because 80% of my owners or my tenants, I'd barely even know them in public, or if I had to even see them, I wouldn't know who they were, just because it's so hands off and everything runs smooth like it should, and there's no issues. But then there's that 20% that just eats me alive, and it's a stressful job. I do okay financially, but emotionally and the stress that's involved in this job absolutely sucks. I had yesterday a court-ordered RCMP child removal from a property, which then I had to secure it, and the mom is still there, who's not a tenant, and the tenant has actually moved out. So now I got to go to court to get a squatter removed, and that's dirty work. That's not fun. So it's providing a good service. Because I'm with a property management company, I'm running about 250 doors, which then is a real struggle to keep the day-to-day tasks and everything organized. Because I do everything from tenant relations to maintenance to dealing with the vendors to making sure that the work is done, make sure it's done correctly. Was the accounting done correctly? Just 2 seconds ago, I got a text from an owner mad because the sprinkler blowout cost him too much money and he didn't authorize it, so he's not paying for it. I think we get cold here in Canada, so the $68 that we're spending for it is probably a lot less than the damaged system in the spring. But now I got to go. I was
going to say, just put the water back in.
Yeah, just put the water back in. So I like what I do, but I hate what I do. It provides, and my biggest challenge is to get enough systems and processes in that work properly on my end, to inform people of the things they need to be doing. I had an overnight no heat call last night, and it boiled down to the tenants didn't change their furnace filter, so it clogged up, shut down the furnace. 3:30 in the morning, I send a tech out. Now I've got to charge the tenant for that because that's their responsibility. So now they hate me and think I'm the worst human being on the face of the earth because they just got a bill for $250 for a furnace filter, literally. When all it would have had to have been is me send out some kind of a fall reminder that says, "Hey, you need to do maintenance, like preventative maintenance. Otherwise, you're going to get charged." And that's where my bottleneck comes in with a lot of my stuff, is letting people beforehand know that they have to do something. Because then if there arises a problem, I can say, "Hey, listen, dude, on October 12th, I sent you an email, which you opened, that said, change your furnace filter. And if you don't, you're going to get charged for the after-hour calls."
Right.
So it
While
comes
you're
down
freezing.
to, yeah, and it's not my fault that you're freezing.
Yeah.
But still, so it's a lot of my problems right now are just getting the systems and organization skills to get that stuff out and get it out properly. I mean, and I say my job is crappy, but it's still good. Sorry, I'll just put my dog away. 1 second. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So that's what I do. On the long term, I do Airbnbs. And then, I do a little bit of maintenance, but I'm trying to get out of that. Like, I don't want to be the carpet installer. I just don't want to be caught in that trap. And I don't want to be taken advantage of. Because the second you say, hey, I'll go do something once, then it's expected from that path forward, right?
Right.
So it's just setting those boundaries.
And I guess, some of the things that you're creating, you've got to not only create the systems that you share with the tenants, it's also got to be something that you share with the owners.
Exactly. Well, and part of my problem is because I am with a brokerage, so I have to follow the brokerage rules. So the brokerage wants to do X amount of stuff, but they don't. Anytime I'm not getting paid to create the marketing material, but yet I create the marketing material because nobody in the company will do the damn work.
Right.
So I mean, I just did one for owners for fall maintenance, gave it to the broker and the boss and said, hey, will you guys post this? And they just never ever did it. So I have to go through all these hoops in order to get the stuff out. And I'm getting a little bit frustrated with it because it's stuff that it cuts a lot of the crap out if we can let people know beforehand. You're moving out, okay? If you didn't carpet clean properly, you're going to get charged. Just these little things, right? So I've got to be able to figure out how to, as we discussed last time, market, because I am a marketer. That's the business that I'm in.
Yeah.
And marketing comes down to delivering that message. And my message is failing. I'm not getting the correct message to people. Whether it's attracting new owners, dealing with existing owners, dealing with tenants, and the list goes on. Now, I say these negative things, but I am doing a crap load of stuff correctly. But it does, when the tide goes out, you catch people where they don't have their pants on, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, the tide has really shifted here. And I think it has there as well, but the tide really has shifted here. People are struggling. People are struggling on paying bills, and I think it's only going to get worse now that the fall weather is coming. Your utility bills are going to really, really start hurting people. That's what I think here for the demographics that I deal with, anyways. Right. So it's just that delivery of messages where I'm struggling. Yeah.
One of the things that I think about as I'm listening to you, and it's actually funny, it's the second time I've suggested this book today, but there's a book called Checklist Manifesto.
Oh, okay.
It's a really good book. A lot of it's based around medical practices, but the power of creating proper checklists and being able to share those, because, and the other thing it makes me think about, I'm working with a construction company right now that half the teams in Utah, half the teams in Wichita, and we're all coordinating, but they're really in the process right now of documenting the journey of everything that's happening, so that exactly what you're saying, it makes the process easier as time goes on, because everything's documented and it's easy to say, okay, we're doing ABC, this is how it goes. And but that is tough when you're doing that and the owners aren't implementing.
But yeah, it's a struggle. And then I have to even write down to the branding, right? So I've been working on ClickFunnels, like trying to learn that new platform. I love it. I think it's great. There's a lot of lot of areas, so many areas that I don't know. And just even doing the layout and trying to explain to them what the hell what a funnel is, what a lead funnel is, they don't understand it. So then it's that whole re-education of trying to get somebody else to buy into it. It ultimately brands their company, but yet they don't want to pay for the branding nor do any of the work, and then be kind of restrictive in the message that is sending. So I'm fighting on a few ends there, and it's getting better. But yeah, I just need to set up my passive income off of ClickFunnels and start funneling it out to other things to bring in other stuff, exit strategies for the future.
Right. So that's actually, as you were talking about that, what are your long-term goals with the property management business and beyond?
Well, and that's actually where I get stuck, right? I don't tell everybody this, and I guess I'm just telling the world now, because I went bankrupt in 2014, I don't have a lot moving forward. So really what I'm working on now, I'm working for a wage. That's it. Because there is no real build for the future out of this company, because it's not mine. So any of these clients that I have, if I were to leave, they stay with the company. So really, I need to try to figure out, and that's what I am currently trying to figure out, what is that path that's going to take me away from being somebody else's slave? Because that's what I am, is somebody else's slave to manage their stuff. And I'm more than content to do that. But I really have a life shelf of probably another 10 years. I'm an old bugger, so it's that, there's got to be something else out there. I'm always looking for other avenues. But I'm not willing to just jump willy-nilly either, right? It's got to do the legwork, and it's got to, and it will come. But really, my goal within the company is probably to be in that 300 property range. Which then will allow me to have an assistant to do a lot of the dirty, grinding grunt work so that I don't have to. But I'm not quite there yet. I got another 50 properties to go. So,
yeah. Okay. But it's not an aspiration of becoming a broker of your own. And
no, there's not enough in Lethbridge. There's just not enough. There's 3 or 4, but to open up my own umbrella, I would leave with 0. And I mean, so I'm sure some would come without being poached, but I don't want to no. If I leave, I want to leave, and that'll be that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. Life is life.
Right.
We take a turn as we go.
Well, and then you had mentioned the passive income side of things. What kind of thoughts do you have there?
I don't know. I am drawn to the whole world of, the affiliate marketing, the lead funnels. I am drawn to that. My knowledge base is so low on it, and I do find it overwhelming and daunting, because you can get into any one of these fly-by-night, keto funnels, or you can get into this or that, and you might make a bit of money for a month or two. But what is it gonna be that takes you through into the future that still does it? And I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I used to think real estate property, but I don't have that now. Geez, I'd love a storage. How about a park, an RV park?
Yes.
Right, Jen?
If you put tree houses in it.
Absolutely. It's true. It is true. It's the way to go. Because awesome. People are going to camp no matter what their income is.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy in our local area that does clamping. So I think he's got 15 tents out in that Twin Butte area.
Oh, yeah.
And he runs them year round. And he cannot, he could put another 20 in, and the people from the bigger city, Calgary and Edmonton, will come and camp there anytime. But they're big old fancy tents with toilets, but it's still a tent.
Yeah. It's a yurt. Is it a yurt? Yeah.
Yurt.
Yeah. Well, and you look at the place that's over by Glenwood, they can't
Yeah.
They have a waiting list. Like it seems to be, and it's so crazy. I mean, that one's not too bad, but some of them feel like they're just fields.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. And they have, it's amazing to me that they're doing what they're doing. It's awesome.
Yeah. So joking aside, I mean, I don't know I don't know what my passive income, I don't know what that lead looks like in the future, but just keep your eyes open for it. And that's where I go.
You know what though? I mean, this might not be the route you want to go, but you have the background and experience that a lot of people want. And that could turn into a passive income through a course. I mean, you've got the tools with ClickFunnels.
Yeah, I have actually been thinking of that. And that comes down to yourself, I guess, my self-talk, my self-sabotaging limitations that I'm not qualified to write a book. I'm not that guy that can put a course together. I have no problem whatsoever getting up and teaching. It's that getting that material and getting my knowledge out of my head that says, hey, you know, if Joe Blow does this, this is what you do, or this is what you don't do, or here's some options, right? So it's just getting past those limitations that we put on ourselves.
It is.
And just write letters, Jody. Just write it all down in letters like you're writing to someone who's doing this. And then all of a sudden you combined it. You put a
that's a good idea.
Pretty cover on it. But like if you were writing to your younger self of what you learned along the way and what you know now and what you wish you knew then, that would be pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
And even the experience of bankruptcy and like the whole experience that you've had.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful.
And that was in real estate as well. So
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really, I mean, it's the whole make your mess your message. And someone right now that's getting into property management. Yeah, maybe the brokerage isn't yours, but your experience, like you said, everything's marketing. It doesn't matter if you own the brokerage or you're doing what you're doing. You've got to be marketing yourself. You've got to do all that stuff. How valuable would that be if when you started, someone with your experience had a $97 course that you could buy that gave you all these ins and outs that you.
And I have been looking around, and there really isn't anybody in Alberta that's tapped into that market. Like there's not. You cannot find a course.
No.
So yeah, that has been on my mind. I just got to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, it's doable.
And for what it's worth, from my standpoint, I mean, I think Jody, I think we had you inspect our home a couple times when we moved.
Yep.
And I look at you as an expert.
You know what? And I would actually agree with you because I do bring I bring a lot to the table, a lot more than a lot of other real estate investors would realize, from the home inspections to the energy efficiency for the government. I mean, I even worked as a paramedic firefighter, so I know the firefighting and safety side of it. So I do have a different mindset and level of training that does bring a difference.
Okay, I've got to go more into this because you get me excited when you're talking about this. So a couple things. One, when you said something about writing a book, you might have saw both of us grin, because I've been working with Jennifer on what I call authority marketing.
Oh,
and
good.
One of the best ways to become that authority is with a book, right?
Yes.
And she's got so much in her that she's writing the book now, and it's so easy to write that book now and get it self-published on Amazon. I mean, it's exactly what I did with my journals. They're just self-published through Amazon. But
I think that was the part that got me, was that it's not, I don't have to find a publisher. I don't have to do all of that. And it feels sort of like when Jeff, you first talked to me, it sort of felt like I'm just going to write a book. It doesn't even have to be any good. It just has to be bound and out there. Now that's a horrible way but that's sort of got me started. And now as I'm writing, I'm going, wow, I really do have some info in here in my head.
And so, I think part of the secret is you can dictate it, right? Dictate your chapters and have them transcribed and stuff. So you've got to drive across Canada and dictate all the way across like she
Yeah.
did.
And I'll put you up in a treehouse.
But anyways, where I was going with that is with what we're working on with her, like, so she's created a landing page. We're working on building up her coaching with this family coaching she's doing that also builds into her retreat and stuff. So she's got a lead generation landing page, squeeze page with that goes to a 14-day challenge for what she's doing.
Oh, nice.
And then it introduces to the coaching aspect and all that, and then the email sequence and whatnot. But the authority marketing part, you know, once you've got that landing page that is that lead generator, it's using the book, it's getting on podcasts, it's driving traffic to that landing page, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's two things. One, I just transferred one of my courses from ClickFunnels 1 to 2. It's slick. It's a good program once you start to understand it. And so the program part is there for sure. I don't know how much you've seen them talking about the linchpin, but I'm in the 2CCX coaching.
Okay.
And so the push that Russell's doing, and he did it with Dan Kennedy's company, he's doing, well, his 2CCX coaching and Inner Circle are all part of this too, but is creating the membership site. And I was talking to Jennifer about this a couple of weeks ago, and by the time I was off the call, I'm telling her about it, and I'm pumped up and excited for what the potential is. So the story I was sharing with her was when I was in Florida, I met a lady there that her husband's an accountant. She started selling sugar cookies from home and selling them online. But then it got too big, and she's like trying to ship sugar cookies all over the place. And so she changed and she started doing sugar cookie recipes. And she created a membership site. I mean, you look at ClickFunnels, ClickFunnels is ClickFunnels membership site, Netflix's membership, Hulu's membership, all those are. She created a membership site where people pay $39 a month to be in this membership site, and it's mostly like cookie recipes, and I don't know what else she does in it. She's got 30,000 people in it.
Holy cow.
Can you imagine?
For cookie recipes.
For cookie recipes, you could go Pinterest it.
And the whole concept, like this whole concept that I'm creating my membership funnel behind right now, basically you add a new masterclass every month, right? But you've got to have your framework of, let's say we're working on you. This is the main framework of what you've got to learn to become a great property manager. And you have, 5 or 6 trainings or whatever. And then you have the monthly masterclass on XYZ. And so basically so in the 2CCX program, we've got this framework on building the linchpin, building the membership sites. And then every month there's actually I'll tell how I'm going to do it because I know that better. So every month I'll also have a masterclass on a specific topic, because my focus is teaching people to be optimal performing entrepreneurs, which is meaning beyond just the business. Then I'll also have a monthly masterclass on a personal development topic. And then I'll probably have another one. So over 3 weeks doing 3 different trainings that will be more like this, either a hot seat or a mastermind that people can get access to. And so basically, if you had a training program set up for property management, real estate, whatever you wanted to do, and then once or twice a month you were going in and doing another video just to add to that, you're not looking at Alberta, you're looking at anywhere there's a property manager.
Well, yeah, and it translates into every area. There's just little different provincial rules, right? But the management's the same.
Right.
Well, even like I said it before, Colin and I have this house, right? I mean, COVID, but eventually it's going to be empty for 3 months. Yeah. And we have thought, well, I thought more than he has because he thinks it's, but to change it, like to rent it out and have it be an Airbnb while we're gone.
Yep.
I have no idea where to get started. I would love to have just a quick, or not a quick, but like someone to like where I could click play and someone would say, hey, don't forget this and this. And like, what do I need to know to be able to do that?
So there's
and even if there's a market. Sorry.
Yeah. No, so that exactly there you have an extra masterclass about Airbnbs, how people get started in Airbnb, and basically the do it yourself. And at the end, you're like, but if you don't want to do this yourself, give me a call and I'll manage it for you.
There you go. Yeah.
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 But you will know, you'll have that expertise of what would the problems be, what comes up, what do I not think of, what do people not think of before they even start? Like there's all kinds of.
Yeah. For
can I lock my storage room door and just hope that nobody goes in there and put all my junk in there while I clean up the rest? You know, I don't know. Like there's all kinds of things to go through.
How do I hide the camera so the tenants don't see?
Yeah. So they get be suspicious if there's nanny teddy bears in every room.
Oh, that's funny.
No, Joe, like I said, Jody, you've got the background and expertise. I mean, you could do it two ways. You could just create the course, or you could create a membership site. The nice thing about the membership site is continuity.
Yeah.
You know, having the regular, you get to the point where it's, oh, Netflix came out again. And now I don't even notice it coming out, because if I notice it, then I get mad.
Great.
But I mean, you get 30,000 people that want sugar cookie recipes at $39 a month. That's a lot of money.
That's some good coin.
That's sweet.
I see what you did there.
Have you ever seen speaking of Netflix, there's a show on there called #Stay Here.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
It's a decorator like shoot, and then there's and the marketing side of it, and they go into all of these different places, like people that want to do Airbnbs or the people that are running all different hospitality things, and they do a makeover. But he also sits down and talks about SEO and hashtags and about like all of that stuff.
Oh, really?
And takes them from like, what is your goal? Anyway, I love that show, and I'm not the only one, but you could address those. I mean, even that is a simple little part of your whole knowledge, but the fact that you have the marketing and you have the experience of managing, I think you're a gold mine. I think. I really do. Yes, no, yeah. Now you have to believe it, and then you have to do the work. I get it. I'm right there with you.
Well, I've already bought into the fact that, because that is something that actually I had thought last week or the week before when Jeff and I had discussed that training is probably an avenue that would bring a lot more. I just have to tap into the resources to do it.
Yeah. And if you wanted to come and use my house in your video to show what to look for or not, I would make that a sacrifice for you. If you ever needed it, I'm here for you.
I travel to McGrath. I can travel that way.
There you go.
No, I think there's a lot of potential to that, Jody. And
absolutely.
And the cool part is then it's also you don't have to do all the training either. It's like, okay, this week I'm going to talk about pesticide, and get someone from a pest company doing that training. And, this week we're going to talk about Canadian mortgages and versus American mortgages, and, looking at those sort of things. And
there's definitely a lot of offshoots.
Yeah.
Do you have to have special zoning? What do you do with cranky neighbors?
Yeah. What do you do when you find a camera and you're a tenant and you find a camera in there?
Yeah.
There's so much that, and because if you're the property manager, it's not your property, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, we just found a camera in here.
Yeah, but I'm still in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So so how do you deal? I mean, I think that's the potential thing that takes you to another level for where you want to get.
I'll get my ass in gear.
And like I said, I mean, I'm in the middle of building the membership site myself right now. I've done the courses in 1.0 and 2.0. So
okay,
if you ever need any input or anything on that, I'm happy to help.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got 3 funnels that I'm working on right now that are close to getting launched, but they're just specific to different things, right?
Yeah.
But it's more the lead gen for tenants and lead gen for owners.
Cool.
So
That's awesome. I mean, and like Russell always says, the money's in the list.
you know what? And I tried to poach my list or get that list from, because we have a list of over, I think they said 25,000 emails,
Really?
but I can't access them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Through home time and through that's their list. So
Yeah.
I can't do it. So I've got to start building up my own list and giving myself that, because if we come back to that whole, what I said earlier, I don't plan on being active property manager 10 years after this. I don't want to be that guy going out there and doing the dirty work. So in order for me to exit from there, I have to start building something that's mine, that when I leave, it comes with me. So if I have my own list, that comes with me. If I have, like you're saying, this training, that comes with me. That's not their list, and that's not their training. That's mine.
Yeah. Think about that training, because you grasp onto that vision. It's huge.
Yeah.
Because and the whole ascension part of it too, because you could have different levels. Are you the owner? Are you the broker or the property manager? There's so much. Yeah, there's huge.
Yeah.
So
okay. I thought this wasn't a hot seat.
It is now. So I guess the next question is, when will it be done?
Let's see, it's November. Let's say December 31st.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty cool. And then once you develop something like that, there's a Dan Kennedy philosophy that ClickFunnels is really pushing right now too, called the MIFGI, most incredible free gift ever.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to push people to your funnels. The example they use, and you might have seen them do this before, is Sports Illustrated. If you remember when, subscribe to Sports Illustrated, you get the football phone and the swimsuit edition. You get those two free if you subscribe. And so it's like, what can you create that you're giving away something free for them to subscribe?
Yeah.
So, but it's all marketing. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You could make a video. And Jody, I actually have the best house right now for you to come in and do a before. Oh my gosh. No, it's atrocious. I could get into the story of what happened here, but take it from, well, not you, but do a video of the before and then taking it to ready to list, or ready to do that. Even if we never listed, but it would be pretty powerful, because this house right now, you would never, oh my gosh. So anyway,
awesome.
Just putting it out there. You wouldn't, of course, you wouldn't do the work. I'm just saying that you could, if you need a before, I have the best before right now.
Those actually are very good. Those are very good. Yeah. I might take.
And that could be your free gift. You could say, here, let me take you through this 30-minute video of how we.
Yeah.
It would just be documenting my work. I don't know that I want my face attached to it, but you could. I've had a son in my house that's just completely destroyed, not destroyed physically, but it's a disaster.
I know kids.
It's awful. But anyway.
All right. Well, that's cool, Jody. I think that's.
I'm
really
excited
cool
for you.
Yeah. I hope you put some thought into that, because I think there's a ton of potential that you could do some amazing things that could be your exit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm really kind of focusing on.
Yeah. Very cool.
Even right down to when you take a damn picture of the house for showing it for rent, put the toilet seat down.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts how many landlords do that.
Yeah, you could create so much content.
Yeah, there's just so much.
from what to you is common sense, and obviously not everybody.
No. So, all right. Well, you've thrown the challenge, so I accept.
Very cool. Awesome. I'm excited for you.
That was awesome. Wow.
And Miss Winder,
Ken's
how
turn.
about yourself?
Well, my desk is full of huge Post-it notes. So I run a campground 6 months of the year in New Brunswick. And the reason that we bought the campground was so that I could run SNAS, which is Family Connections Through Spirit, Nature, Art, and Stories. So that's where I really want to be. Right now, I'm just like when you were talking, Jody, at the beginning about people and the 20% and all of that, I was like, I get it. I totally get it. Because there is that, we have amazing customers that come in, amazing campers, all of that, but there's some real crazies that come in too that make it really, really hard. But anyway, so I'm running a campground, which is great and it's fun and I'm learning so many things from it. I'm also, but I want to transfer over. Well, I want to keep doing that, but I want to add on to this and be the family coach. And I keep running into having to make the choice over and over and over again, which is ridiculous. And I get that I shouldn't have to do that, but I keep trying to make the choice over and over again. And that's where I keep getting stuck because I'm at the point where I think, okay, I can see, but I have to change my life in order to get there a little bit, which means I have to and I don't even know how to explain that very well, but I was naive when I jumped into the campground thing. I'm not so naive anymore. So the growing pains that have to come, I think I'm holding back from. And I keep dragging my feet and digging my heels in. Even though I want the end, it's this middle part that I'm struggling with. And the technology part of it hurts my head. But that's where I'm.
And that's why the technology part of it, I'm trying to help handle some of that.
Yes, which I'm very, very, very grateful for. Very grateful for. And but even then it's like pulling teeth to get me to do the next step. And then I do the next step. I'm like, oh, that wasn't so hard. I'm my own worst enemy. I really am.
One of the things I've noticed with you, Jennifer, from how long have we been working together?
It's been over a year. It's been almost 2, I think.
Yeah. That I would say your biggest struggle is your own limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
That's been what we've talked about probably more than anything. And you overcome them, and it's kind of like an epiphany, like, oh, okay, I can do this. I am this. And then you allow them to creep back in. You know, like when you is it Angela that you're coaching? What was her name? Angela?
Yeah.
So when you started coaching her, it was like all of a sudden, oh yeah, I can do this. And then, slowly they come back and stuff. And even just over this last week, it was like there was a bunch of new limiting beliefs. And then it was, okay, I conquered those, moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Because, look at knowing how do we create that, how do we make you naive again? Because if it's the everything in between that's bothering you, looking at how Richie or Benjamin talks about it and say, okay, you want to be this coach, this family coach. How do you be that and work from that rather than towards it? And that's doing the thing.
Yeah.
But it's also, stepping out of that comfort zone and accepting that you are that person and doing the things that person needs to do.
It's true. And I think that I feel like I have to do it perfectly. But even that email that you sent me today,
I sent it to
Was
you
it
too, Jody. I don't know if you saw it. That one from
Dan
Dan Kennedy.
Yeah.
I did. I didn't read it though.
The
It's good.
email itself is so powerful and so full, and it's all really, really good. But as I'm reading it, it was driving me crazy because some of the sentence structure, like some of it, I'm like, it's driving me crazy. But he sent it. It doesn't matter. I mean, not that I can't even tell you, but there were certain parts where I'm like, well, I wouldn't have, I don't
Like things that he says, gonna, Gonna, stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Like there were so many things where I'm like, what are you doing? But that doesn't matter. And he's
Right.
sending them, and he's sending them to thousands and thousands of people. So
Yeah.
it's the content. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that one paragraph that, because we had talked this morning about scheduling time to write. And I
Yeah.
read that paragraph and just cut and paste it and text it to you right away. And then as I continued to read the email, I was like, dang, this is good. So then I was like, I'm not gonna cut and paste the whole email into a text. So then I sent it to you, and then I was like,
Yeah.
then I sent it to Jody, then I sent it to Tiffany. I think I sent it to about 5 people.
Yeah. No, it was very, very good. Yeah. But I mean, and I've said this before, I think I feel like I have two brains, or there's two of me inside here. Like there's I have the logical and the emotional, like, I mean, I guess we all do, but the logical, I know the right answers. I know what I need to do. It's just sometimes that emotional being is just way too loud in there.
And
Yeah.
This is going back to a Jody topic for a second. With your 2.0, does it given you some of the tactical training, like how to build the sites and stuff? No, it doesn't. Okay.
No.
With the training they do, one of the things they talk a lot about is exactly what Jennifer says is, there's the people that are going to buy on emotion, there's the people that are going to buy on logic, and there's the people that are going to buy on fear of missing out. And so that's how they structure a lot of their marketing. And if you look at a lot of any ClickFunnels landing pages that are longer, the first, what they call before the fold, is all based on emotional buying. And then the next part, they hit the people that buy on logic. And so it's all logical buying. And then at the bottom, it'll be those that are based on fear, the fear of missing out. And so Jennifer can kind of hit all 3 of those sections.
And I have to read through the whole thing. And then I still don't. Yep.
So how can we help you on those, Jennifer?
I don't know. That's my problem. I don't know. I need a way to every morning wake up and remember that I bought a campground, that I travel across the country, that I've taken I've surprised the banks. Like we've taken the company from here to here. Like we really seriously have. If you look at the books, we're making way more than the previous owners. I have to remember that I am a mother of 20 foster kids and my kids, like that have come through. Like I have to remember how great I am. And I'm not good at doing that very much, because it's like, it's just probably all of us. Is it not? I hope. Anyway, I don't know.
Well,
but
okay, let's look at it this way. We're talking about Jody's experience and the expert he is. Can't we have the same conversation?
For sure. 20 foster kids plus your own?
Well, not all at once, but
no, I know. But still,
there's a book in itself.
Jeez.
But
true.
But really, I mean, you think of, a normal person. You say, okay, there's a campground for sale in Nova Scotia. You should go buy it. I should what? I live in Alberta. What are you talking about? I mean, you've got to, and that's one of the things I like to talk to people about too, is when you look at your goals every time we start getting close to a goal, we're usually saying, okay, let's push that finish line out, make it bigger. And we don't take the time to look back and say, you know what, that goal that I had a year ago, I'm living that now. And you've got to be able to look at it and say, no, I am kind of a badass.
Yeah. Yeah. I just do what I do, you know, yeah, that's the thing. It's
Which
just,
is
I
right.
feel like
Which it's
this
normal,
is normal
to you. This is what
Yeah.
I do. But look at it from an outside perspective and be like, holy cow. Right.
So how do you get that? How do you market that? How do you work with that? How do I first of all not sound like I'm conceited and full of myself? And how do I use it to do what I really want to do, which is help and serve?
You do it by not saying, hey, look at me, this is how wonderful I am. It's listen to this story and what I learned from it and how you can grow from it because of what I learned. This is the journey I took. Here's the wall I hit. Here's the epiphany I had.
It's all sounding very familiar.
Yeah, sound like the hero's journey.
This might sound like, yeah.
I can tell you it's the backstory, the journey, the epiphany, the plan, the conflict, the achievement, and the transformation.
Yeah, it sounds easy enough.
But there's so many parts of that. I mean, every part, whether it's the campground, whether it's the foster kids, you know, all of those different things. There's so many stories that you gather from that experience can help others within the SNAS coaching.
Okay. It feels really uncomfortable when I go to start. Like I don't know how many videos on my phone where I sit down and I start and say, okay, well, this is, you know, like, let me tell you about a little boy that I had in my home who was really struggling to process all of the horribleness that had happened. And so we started at bedtime. I'd tuck him in and I'd tell him, and we'd start every story. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named, and he'd say his name, and he had blonde hair and blue eyes, and he'd all get all giggly and think it was really great. And then say, okay, and he lived in this house. Anyway, we talked basically his story, but there were fairies involved. So there was a fairy that would come and take him on adventures. But as the adventures went, and often I would let him fill in the stories. And it was so many times things that would come up that he's processing. And so that is why stories are so important. And I can say that to you, but I can't seem to transfer it into I don't know how to present it. I don't know how to I don't know how to put it into context.
Think of the first time you brought on a foster child. And if it was him, what would you have wanted you telling you? Someone that's gone through this, someone that has that story. How valuable is that to someone that is day one? I don't know how to do this. Because it might not be a foster kid. It might be their own kid. They don't know how to do this parenting thing because the manual sucks.
It really does.
Yeah.
Okay. It feels like when I do that, though, like it feels like I keep switching who my ideal customer is. And I don't know why. But
I mean, because no, because it's parenting. It doesn't matter if it's a foster, if it's biological, it's parenting. And so that can still be part of the whole SNAS story.
Right. Okay.
But you've got to share it. It's not helping anybody if it's sitting on your phone.
That's true.
And if it helps one mom, that's all it needs.
So do I just, and this is, I think I overthink, but I do overthink, and this is part of the problem. So I have that on there, and I can share that. It feels like it's a little bit random and out of the blue when I put it on my, I just have to become that. I have to go take, yeah, okay. So I have to go from, I am the coach. Jennifer Winder is a family coach.
Yeah.
My followers on there right now are people who know me too well. And so then their voices go through my head, and I think, holy moly, but I have to just not think of that. And I just have to be brave.
Did you have you seen the new Top Gun?
Not yet, no.
Are you kidding me?
I know. There wasn't time all summer, and now it's here. And Nicole and I wanted to watch it together. And
okay, then my next comment doesn't make sense. But he kept telling Goose's son, "Don't think, just do."
Okay.
Because it's not your. We talk about you've got to become that person.
Yes.
The difference is you are that person. You just haven't recognized it. So stop thinking about it and just do it.
Okay.
You know, when we talk about you've got to become the person that can do the thing, you've got to go through the experiences that make you that person. But you've already been through those experiences. You already are that person. You're just not in your mind.
Yeah.
So don't think, just do.
Okay.
Right from Maverick.
Okay. Don't think, just do. I'm going to put it up on my wall. I have a cricket. It's dangerous. Okay. And do it from that person.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, you talk about it seems random and it's uncomfortable. It's if you just put it out there once and then maybe once or twice and then a month later do it again, then it is random. But if that's what you're always talking about, it's just who you are.
Okay. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do, because it came to me and I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take every day, I'm going to take one of my stories, the lesson I learned from it, put it together and present it.
Absolutely.
In some form, either blog it or record it.
Yeah.
Story, lesson, put it out there.
Starting when?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's when we do. Okay.
Good stuff.
See, we had
double hot seat tonight. Woo.
Right?
Mean, holy.
Oh, it's so tricky.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. I'm excited for both of you.
So, well, it's just dumb, but like, how do you, I need a thing every morning. It's just that standing up every morning and like, I have to, I don't know, do the power pose and say it.
Have you ever heard Mel Robbins talk about that?
Heard Mel Robbins talk about a lot of things. Maybe that's where it's come up.
Yeah.
But I don't know that specifically. I know the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go do it.
What's her recent book? Can't remember.
I can't remember.
But yeah, I can't remember exactly what it is, but she was, in fact, you and I have talked about this, giving yourself the high five and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. maybe go back and review some of her stuff, because she talks about the power pose and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
But it's just like, you know what, do you still read your Vivid Vision?
In theory, I really do. I haven't read it.
I mean, one, start doing that again, but also reflect on, like, the way you created that Vivid Vision was so good. Also create one talking about not just what you're going to accomplish, but just talking about what you have accomplished.
Okay. Okay.
And, you know, maybe it's just the visual part, you know, having a picture of the campground in your bathroom or something, having a picture of all the kids, you know, all those things, just that you can look at them and be like, dang, I did that.
Yeah. And the fact that my adult children still come for Sunday dinners and want to talk to me, I think that's a win. I'm going to take it as a win. Because holy moly, adult parenting is ridiculous. Somebody needed to have a warning on that. Every child should have it stamped on their backside. I will grow up and you will have less power and it will be harder than the toddler stage.
No kidding.
Yeah. Anyway.
But then I will have a grandkid that will soften you up. That worked on me.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. I'm waiting for it.
Well, awesome. I'll let you guys get going, but I thought that turned out good. I thought we had some good conversations there. So,
great conversation. Thank you.
excited for you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All righty. Thank you guys.
Okay. Talk to you guys later.
Good night.
Take care.
Yeah.